Hi, I'm Crystal Gunn, founder of the Amazing Woman Network, and I want to share with you one of our initiatives today. It's called the 50/50 Accord. The Amazing Woman Network was created to unite and empower black women globally with three main pillars: take back your power personally, mind, body, and spirit, take back your power financially, and reclaim and increase our social involvement. With the death of George Floyd, social involvement has been off the charts, with protests in 50 states and over 18 countries globally, and changes are happening. We have seen boycotts of companies due to their racist beliefs or lack of support in the Black Lives Matter movement, and this younger generation is leading the charge, and it's great to see. I stand with them in their actions and the disruptions they are causing, because major shifts require disruption. And the protests and boycotts are necessary disruptions if we want to see continued change. There's a third leg to that stool, and that's economic disruption. It's about taking back our power financially. Now, I've been a financial empowerment coach for the past 10 years, and it's one of my biggest passions. And the statistics and the wealth gap has got to change. It's been said that if the trend doesn't continue, despite the fact that in 30 years, people of color will be the majority population, blacks will have zero wealth. In 30 years, despite the fact that people of color will be the majority population, if we don't do something different, blacks will have zero wealth. In 30 years, my daughter will be 49 years old. How many of you have children or grandchildren? And how old will they be in 30 years? And are you okay with them having zero wealth? Not on my watch. So what's the 50/50 Accord? It's an economic disruption, and it's about personal accountability. It's about what you, the individual, and your individual households can do to change the course of black economics for generations to come. The first phase of the 50/50 Accord is at least 50% of the population redirecting the money we are already spending to ensure that at least 50% of those dollars are spent with a black business, intentionally, habitually, and generationally. Collectively, black people have a $1.3 trillion buying power, and we currently spend somewhere around 2 to 3% of that $1.3 trillion with black businesses. So we currently spend about $28 billion of the $1.3 trillion with black businesses. In the next 90 days, we want to inject another $50 to $100 billion into the black community, simply by redirecting what we're already spending, ensuring at least 10% is spent with black businesses. Just 10%. If you're already at 10%, that's great. Increase it 5 more. Just don't let your minimum be your maximum. Just by redirecting money we're already spending. Remember, we're not asking you to spend any more money. Just redirect what you're already spending to at least 10% in the next 90 days. We can potentially make way for over 300,000 new jobs. Think of the impact when at 50% of the population, right, is spending at least 50% of their money with black businesses. Think of that impact. Intentionally, habitually, and generationally redirect the money that we're spending. How do we do it? It's three areas, right? First is a 50/50 buy black. You want to, again, make sure that at least 50% of the dollars you're already spending, you spend with a black business. How are you going to do that? 3 to 6 miles around where you currently live. 3 miles around where you work. The next piece of that is you're going to spend that money with black businesses that are online. Everybody doesn't have a brick and mortar. Everybody doesn't need a brick and mortar. Or what you need, there isn't a brick and mortar shop locally, so you need to order it online, right? So you're going to do online black businesses. And the third piece of that step is you want to make sure you're supporting your friends and your families that have businesses. You have friends and family right now that have businesses. One, you may not even know that they have them. And two, if you know, you haven't supported them. You haven't purchased anything from them. You want to make sure that you're supporting them as well. And it's okay if you can't use the product. You got gifts exchanges at work, at your church, with your friends. Buy something from your friends and family, and if you can't use it, gift it to somebody else. Individually, you can make a difference, and collectively, we will rise. The second part of that is bank black, right? Again, I've been a financial empowerment coach for years, and I always tell people to have a credit union account and a bank account. They do similar things, but they also do different things. And you want to be able to take advantage of all things that they do, right? So you want to bank black. You want to put your money into a black bank, into a black credit union. And I'm not talking about just open up the account with the bare minimum and that's what you put in there, right? While your direct deposit is going to some other financial institution. You want your money going into that black bank. On the website, there's a list of all of the black banks across the country with the links, and you can click it and find out where they are and what they offer. And again, you can open with this month, open black bank account, black credit union account, both of them, right? They are subject to the same FDIC and MCUL rules as every other bank and credit union. Bank black. They don't have to be in your community in order for you to put your money into that bank. The third piece of this thing is the relationship. And it's the relationship between the black business and the black consumer. And it's two sides to the coin. That black business is going to give us good customer service. They're going to make sure that if they have a brick and mortar, it's clean and inviting environment. They're going to make sure that their business structure and foundation is sound. And then lastly, they're going to make sure that they can manage the growth, because if we're putting more and focusing more on supporting them, they have to make sure that they can manage that growth. The other side of that coin is the consumer. We want to pack our patience with those businesses. We've already had to pack our patience due to COVID anyway. We want to continue to pack our patience with these black businesses, because if they're growing, they have to do things like hire new staff. They have to train. It may take longer for their inventory to come in because they're buying more stuff, right? So you want to pack your patience. If you have a complaint, you don't want to post that complaint on social media without ensuring that the owner or the highest level of management knows of the complaint. You want to make sure you're reporting that to them. And keep in mind, that individual might not be in the building the day that you have your incident, right? You want to make sure that the owner knows, or the highest level of management, because that manager that was on duty when you were there may not necessarily report that information back to the owner. You want to make sure the owner knows so that the owner has the opportunity to correct the problem. You also want to make sure that your complaint is a valid complaint, right? If you go to a restaurant and the food isn't seasoned to your liking, that's not really a valid complaint, right? If you go somewhere and it's too pricey for you, that's not really a valid complaint. That's your opinion, and it just means those businesses aren't for you. You need to find somewhere to go. So that relationship that we're building between the black consumer and the black business, two sides of that coin, we want to act accordingly, because we have some healing to do with supporting black businesses, right? So intentionally, habitually, and generationally, we can change the direction of black economics. What do I need you to do? Register today at 5050accord.com, 5050accord.com. And when you register, you'll be asked for your name, email, and zip code. Your zip code, because we want to be able to track where we have people register. If we got 2,500 people registered in a zip code, we know those businesses should be seeing some increased volume. If they're not, we need to figure out something to do. If they are, we want to be able to support that and celebrate that, and also let you know that, right? You'll also be asked if you're an organizer in your area. Why? Because we want to be able to support you in your efforts, and we want to be able to organize with you across this country, right? The reason that so many other organizations and nationalities are successful in their agenda is because they come together and they organize collectively in order to make the whole community rise. And so lastly, you'll be asked if you are a business owner and to list your business. Once registered, you will receive a welcome email. And that email will have the main website link and the Facebook group link. Bookmark the website, join the group, and then add our email address to your contacts. Another reason why we want your email address is what happens when social media says you can't have any more of these type of groups. We're not going to allow any more of this type of stuff. Right? We still have to have a way to communicate and to be able to reach out with one another. We have to continue to organize locally and across the country. You should also be seeing other economic plans coming across from the black community to increase spending with black businesses. Pay attention to them, participate in them, and redirect your money to ensure that over the next 381 days, your household is spending at least 50% of the money that it spends with Black businesses. We have the power to change the course of Black economics if we do it intentionally, habitually, and generationally. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great day.